hope everybody's doing well out there. Well, on Thursday, the Equality Act was being discussed on the floor of Congress. Representative Greg Stuebe of Florida spoke on the House floor about God's will in a nation in rebellion against God. He repeated himself. I'm going to repeat that line again. Whenever a nation's laws no longer reflect the standards of God, that nation is in rebellion against Him and will inevitably bear the consequences. And I think we're seeing the consequences of rejecting God in our country today. And this bill speaks directly against what is laid out in Scripture, end quote. Immediately after this, Jerry Nadler jumps up and says, God's will is of no concern to this Congress. And this is chilling to a person who is a Christian because the will of God is exactly what this country was founded on, to be honest with you. Whether you're a Christian or not, a study of history would show you that the Founding Fathers had a very strong belief in Judeo-Christian values. They believed that this moral compass was the moral compass that would take our country to greatness, and indeed it has. And so for the many of us who believe that this is a Christian nation found on Christian principles, this is a very disturbing thing. But even if you're not a Christian, most world religions do ascribe to the very things in the Bible, the laws that God laid out, the Ten Commandments. These are very uniform things across most of the world's religions. The rejection of these concepts does show the breakdown of the moral quality of our country. And it shows the breakdown of our politicians and the way they think and the way that they want their mind to operate and the way that they want to legislate. The way lawmakers in the Democratic Party today legislate is they legislate by listening to the shrill cries of the extreme left, which in the minds of Christians is basically just like listening to the voice of Satan pretty much. You might as well have him standing right in front of you. What Stuebe was talking about is these different things that's in this bill that the Congress is trying to pass with so much regard to abortion, basically just codifying abortion into the law of the land rather than the Roe v. Wade judgment that it currently stands as. What does this do? Well, it forces Americans to pay for abortions, probably forces nuns to hand out contraceptives and ridiculous things like this, and stomps all over religious liberties of the Christians that are conservatives. And so this is where Stuebe was coming from, and Nadler told us pretty much where the Democrats in Congress stand. We don't care about the will of God, but it's not just the will of God that they're rejecting. They're rejecting the principles that this country was founded on, the laws which this country was founded on, and they're trying to make a new type of a deal that's really in keeping with Satan himself, but will ultimately lead to the downfall of our country. So that's what I have to say about Jerry Nadler's little comment in Congress, and I would hope that we get back to more of a Judeo-Christian value system. But that's what I have to say about it. If you have thoughts about it, hit me with a comment below. And I hope you have a great day. I will talk to you in a while.